Welcome back. In this video, we will look at another important concept in unit testing called coverage. We'll talk about why coverage is important and why you should be cautious with overusing coverage. Right click, run as JUnit test is what we have been doing until now. I'm on the project, so I'm right clicking on the project. Right click, run as JUnit test would run all the unit tests which are present in this project. The other option is to do coverage as JUnit test. So right click coverage as JUnit test. If you run it, what happens is something called a coverage report gets generated. The curious thing is what's in this coverage report and why is it important. Let's look at it right now. You can see that all the tests are successful. That's cool. The interesting thing is right here it shows something called coverage. When I double click to maximize it, this is what you would be seeing. And when I go in, it shows a number against the code. So it says 94%, this is 78%, this is 97%. What is 78%? Let's go in and see. So if you look at this item.java, it's at 56.9%. Let's look at it in detail. You can see that there are lines highlighted in green, and if you go to the bottom, there is a line highlighted in red. That means this line of code has not been executed in your unit test. A coverage report is a measure of which lines of code are executed as part of your unit test. Typically, every line of code in your source code should be executed or should be tested by a unit test, and that's what the coverage report aims to identify. The coverage report aims to identify which lines in your source code, in your source main Java code, are not covered or not run by a unit test. The coverage report, you can see, as far as whatever we have in here, we have done a good job. Most of it is covered. The retrieve hard-coded item is just returning a new item, so we did not really have a unit test for that. But other than that, you can see that most of the other lines of code that we wrote has very good coverage. So some business IMPL has about 100% coverage. That's cool. You'd see that our hello world controller, the item controller, everything has 100% coverage. Is coverage such an important thing? Is coverage something that you'd want to keep full focus on? The thing is, over focusing on coverage might also not be good. Think about what is the objective of your unit test. Your unit test has to catch defects. Does having good coverage guarantee that you find defects? The answer is no. Think about this scenario, right? So let's say I'm removing this assert from here. Would this test have good coverage? Yes, because it would launch the entire context up, it would call the all items from the database. The coverage for this will be really good. But is this really testing anything? Nope. There are no asserts. So whatever response comes back, the test would be successful. So this is one important thing that you need to be cautious about. The coverage is important, but only when it goes along with proper asserts. I have been in so many projects where we had good coverage, but the asserts were not really there. There was no real test that was being performed. Coverage as a number does not hold any meaning unless your tests are testing the right things. They have the right asserts, they are testing the right scenarios. That's the most important part. The way I look at it is coverage is a byproduct of writing good tests. If you put more focus on coverage, then I have seen things go wrong because developers start focusing on coverage and not really focus on writing great unit tests. So the focus should be on writing great unit tests, and the byproduct of it should be great coverage. Until the next step, bye bye.